Welcome back, everybody, to school. Oh, I'm sorry, were you about to say something?
I was about to say, I thought we were going to do it in unison. Like, welcome back.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Welcome back! That can be like our little cutscene. Anyways, we're back. I'm your host. We're your hosts.
We are your hosts.
Tyler Cutting and my co-host, whatever you want to call it, Colby Dick.
Co-host is just fine.
Co-host works, okay. I don't know, because it's a podcast, so I don't know if there's a different...
Well,
would it be a host, or would it be, I don't know.
We're both hosting this
I guess,
podcast.
Sort of.
Well, we're the only ones here.
Would it be, I don't know, I guess. Or are we? No, Mike's not back, don't worry. We don't have Mike sitting in the background eating stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, welcome back to the new school year, our new podcast series where we're not going to have copyright music in it anymore.
Yeah.
So hopefully they will not get taken down. I do have some uncopyrighted music to use.
YouTube was quite upset.
Very much so, and Mr. Nowak complained to me specifically about all of them, him getting emails and crap, and your phone is...
just a bit.
Buzzing a bit.
You know.
Anyway, so if you haven't seen our podcast last year, which according to him they're all back up, but I don't know.
I don't know if the music's up, but videos are up.
There may be no audio. Either way, if you haven't seen the podcast or you didn't see the podcast last year, the way this is going to go is I've got a segment, he's got a segment, we each all have our own quote-unquote expertise, even though we're probably not experts in them.
That's fact.
That's pretty much it, and then we'll go and talk about our own lives if we have time. But this is going to be a little shorter because we're using an unfamiliar camera that we don't like to use because the other one's at the district office. So if the quality's off or if the sound's off or anything else, blame the camera, not us.
Yeah, camera's fault. Always
anyways,
the camera's fault.
So I guess we're just going to, if I can speak English, guess we're just going to start right into it. So for mine, I have video games and tech. Okay, and we'll have a little transition, and hopefully that's not copyrighted either. Because last time I used
the pew
from Star Wars.
Can we say that?
Yeah, we can say Star Wars.
I don't know how far this copyright thing
I actually have some interesting stuff about copyright and Star Wars and whatever else. Anyways.
Okay.
So, to start off, we've got my list, and I only did the past week. He apparently has the whole summer of news for movies and whatever else. But for the past week, we're going to start off with Steam, and we're going to end with Steam, because I have 3 things, and two of them are Steam. Okay. Anyways, there was a game that was released on Steam, about a week ago, that was introducing malware to a lot of people's computers. It was called Dinostopia, I guess. It was for beta download, and it looked cool. There were some trailers for it. You could download it as a beta, which was nice for people who didn't necessarily want to buy the game right away. They could check out the beta. If they liked it, then they could buy the full thing. Right. Unfortunately, the other thing about it is it used your Steam account without permission to give a good quality rate or a good rating without it, on your behalf without telling you.
So it'd be like as if you went on Steam and rated it yourself, except you didn't. The game rating itself.
Yeah. The other thing, which is a little more creepy and a little more harsh, is it had the opportunity to, not everyone experienced it, but it could use your webcam, it could track your keystrokes, and it can possibly lock you out of your computer. But that was a rare occurrence.
It's like NSA stuff right there.
Yeah, pretty much. It was caught quickly, though, and it only affected about a few hundred people compared to the millions of people worldwide that use Steam.
That is...
So statistically wise, it's not too bad, but sorry for the few hundred people that may have gotten
It's just
their
a couple hundred people that got themselves hacked.
It's not a big deal.
Just 100.
So, yeah, there's the first bad thing about Steam. We'll get to another one in a second. But as for the second thing I had here, there is... Ever since it was talked about and released that it was going to be a thing, Star Wars Battlefront 3. There have been some good things said about it, I personally, for one, am looking forward to it mid-October when it's going to be released for the...
It looks fantastic.
It looks great. I'm pretty certain they added back in space battles. They said they weren't going to do space battles, and that was another topic that people hated, because they wanted space battles like the other two.
The best.
I think they might have added them back in. I'm not certain. I did see some gameplay where there were TIE fighters and X-Wings, so I don't know if it's in space or if it's just, like, above the ground. Anyways, there's a new hate along with possibly no space battles. It will not have a server browser option for multiplayer, so you cannot just go on and say, oh, I'll go on this one because it has 4 people and I want to have a small server or whatever else.
Right.
It will not have that. Instead, it'll have a new skill-based matchmaking system.
It's a matchmaker.
So, it's not that type of matchmaking.
I don't know why that made me laugh. It's just funny to me. Go on.
Anyways, like I said, it'll be a new skill-based matchmaking system, so that way, like, you'll have newbies, and you'll have moderate players, and you'll have intermediate players, and you'll have experts at the game who are really good and, like, snipe you from nowhere.
Right.
Anyways, so it'll have that, but people are complaining because they want to be able to go on, they want to be
able to go on.
Roll the George W. Bush.
I hear there's rumors on the...
Is that copyrighted?
No, it's just a speech.
Internets.
Anyways, if I can get on with this, we don't know if it's just going to be console or if it'll also go into PC. There are some plus sides. With the new matchmaking system, instead of choosing servers, people cannot be kicked or switch sides because the host thinks it's unfair or they are losing and they want to be a sore sport.
Right.
So they can't be kicked and they can't be switched sides automatically because the host thinks something should change.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's a little more fair. But some people are asking, why not have both? Why not have a matchmaking system if you're a new player and you want to make sure that you're in with people who aren't extremely skilled in it?
Right, because plus, on the flip side, if you're an extremely skilled person, you don't want to be on a team with a bunch of noobs.
No, and that was the whole point with server browsing, though, is people still want it, some people still want it, but that was the bad thing is if you're an expert at the game and you have a team full of noobs, you're going to want to switch some things up so it's a little more fair. Anyways, it is likely to have a party system, so no matter what happens, if you want to play with your friends, sure, go ahead. It'll most likely have that.
That's good.
Another bad thing, I don't know why I wrote these out of order, but uploading, here's the copyright thingy with Star Wars. Uploading video content of gameplay to YouTube may result in copyright. Because of the music. Because it's Star Wars and it's Lucasfilm. And so they are recommending if that does end up happening, then you'll just have to mute the music for all of the videos that you upload. So you won't get any Star Wars music. You can still have the sound effects, you can still have the visuals, just gotta mute the music.
We can have the pew-pew?
You can have the pew-pew, yes. So I don't think that's copyrighted. Although I think the Wilhelm scream is. So maybe you might want to mute that if that's in there at all.
Wait, now I got a question.
What?
Did we use some footage in a previous episode?
Yes, we did, and that got copyrighted.
And
but that was a matter of the trailer, and they copyrighted the trailer. That was the issue. Okay. For gameplay content, like people go and like you could copyright Battlefront or Battlefield. Sorry,
Battlefield.
Because this is Battlefront. Yeah, the Battlefield. You could upload that. That's technically copyrighted the video. But there's no music in it that's copyrighted. It's mainly the music because of LucasArts and all that stuff.
Yeah, plus the Star Wars theme is just so iconic.
Yeah, but I mean, the video's fine. The video, they're saying you should be able to upload gameplay to YouTube. Last but not least, we're going to bash on Steam a little bit more. There was a Steam game called Playing History, and this is part of a series, because they've had a couple other games called Playing History. Playing History Slave Trade.
This isn't funny.
Here's the game description. Here's the game description. Travel back in time and witness the horrors of slave trade firsthand. You'll be working as a young slave steward on a ship crossing the Atlantic. You are to serve the captain and be his eyes and ears. What do you do when you realize that your own sister has been captured by the slave traders?
Wait, now you're
a slave.
You're the slave.
You're acting as a slave.
I thought you were the guy on the ship that's like watching over the slaves.
No, you're a slave.
That's dark.
Yeah, that's the game in general, but the thing that was most controversial was a mini game in it called, literally, and I quote, Slave Tetris.
Oh my goodness.
Literally.
That's bad.
It's literally Tetris, only you have the shape of a boat's helm, and you have to fit as many slaves as you can into the boat to please the captain. The game is an attempt to be educational without being offensive, but clearly that has failed. The developer has removed the minigame, but not the game as a whole, because it is still part of his series, but they've removed the minigame and kinda, not really apologized on Twitter, saying, the game and trailer was updated Monday, Slave Tetris has been removed as it was perceived to be extremely insensitive by some people. AKA everybody, because anybody with a right mind will say that's a bit harsh.
Look, no offense, but they don't come much whiter than us.
Yeah.
And we got offended.
Yeah. No, but really, just the game in general, I mean, there are some other ones that go back to the Revolutionary War, and that was horrific, all the things that happened in that, because it was the death and destruction of everything that happened with that. That's history, so is the slave trade. Yeah. So they want to go back and teach people how horrible it was.
Right.
The only thing is, you can't really do that without offending some people, because it was such a horrible... everything. I don't want to list everything, because there are a lot of gruesome things in there.
But here's the thing, though.
But
I personally don't have as big an issue with the game as I did with the minigame. The minigame is just straight up offensive. Yeah. I think it's in poor taste.
You gotta shove a bunch of slaves into the ship.
Yeah, I'm like, no. And plus, it's Tetris. Tetris is fun and lighthearted, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah. You can't mix slavery with a fun game, frustrating as it is a fun game.
But, with the actual game, if it's done respectfully to the slaves, as it can be when they're being oppressed.
I really don't think that's possible. I don't see the game as being great
if it's historically accurate. If they go set out to show how terrible slavery was and just the terrible conditions and the treatment, that's fine. I'm okay with that, because now people learn how bad that was and don't repeat it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Meanwhile, with the Tetris, it was like, oh, look, slavery's fun. Tetris.
Shoving a bunch of people in a boat that's crammed and full of disease.
Yeah.
And people died on the ship.
So I feel
let alone the actual slavery.
If they don't go full, I don't know. I feel like if they do it in the right taste, the game can be okay.
Educational. It can be actually educational. But then there's the other thing is, no matter what you talk about, you could talk about a really nice master who, treated slaves almost as an equal and just had them, work the farms and whatever.
Right. And
you could talk about that, but you could still say, they're slaves, period. They are under this white person just because of their skin color, which is completely wrong, and that still offends people. So I don't see any good that could come out of the game, let alone the minigame.
People are just going to get offended no matter what you do.
So the game's still up on Steam if you want to get it. It's called Playing History Slave Trade, but the minigame is gone. So, I don't know, I guess that was the biggest issue, but I still find a lot of issues in the game, period. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have. So moving on to his segment, we've got movies and comics. Some transition right there. That's not copyrighted.
Yeah, no copyright.
Last time I had the Inception Blonde.
That's copyrighted.
Is it copyrighted? Because people use it and everything.
Yeah, but I think they have to get permission.
Do they actually have to?
Look it up, because...
Yeah, I'll look it up just in case beforehand. I got till Friday. Yeah. P.S., just a side note, normally I say this at the end, but all podcasts will hopefully be uploaded Friday. We'll film them Tuesday or Wednesday, which today's a Wednesday, the 9th.
So next week will be Tuesday.
Next week will be Tuesday, the week after that will be Wednesday, and so on and so forth, because we have some conflicting schedules with other DJs that want to do shows.
Right.
Anyways, I'm sorry, sidetracked. Movies and comics.
Alright, movies and comics. This summer movie season was...
It was pretty good.
It was alright.
It wasn't great.
It's not
great.
There have
been better.
When I think of, great movie season summers, I think 2012, because that's when you got The Avengers, Dark Knight Rises, Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, or I think even farther back, 1939. Which that was a
wow,
fantastic...
that was way back.
That's way back, but here we are. You got Wizard of Oz, you got Gone with the Wind, you got Hunchback of Notre Dame, you got what else you get? I don't know.
A lot of good movies.
There's a lot of classics that are made. Anyway, this summer movie season, I mean, we had Ant-Man, which
I didn't
fantastic.
see.
I'm just gonna talk about that for a little bit.
Oh no.
Ant-Man.
We do only have like.
I know. I just
15
said a
minutes.
little bit. Ant-Man is a great movie. It is a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like the Avengers and the Iron Man and everything. But it is scaled way back. It like shrunk literally and figuratively, and pun definitely intended. Because Ant-Man, if you don't know, he shrinks.
I think that's kind of implied.
Okay, good. I just feel like I need to explain that.
Like Giant Girl.
Right,
I think that's
she goes big. Although Ant-Man actually can grow, which is not really in the movie, but maybe later they'll develop that. But anyway, Ant-Man. So the scale is literally just like a personal story of Scott Lang, who becomes Ant-Man, and Hank Pym, who was the old Ant-Man, and his daughter, Hope Van Dyne, who is the daughter of Hank Pym and Wasp child. And she's awesome in this movie because, one, she's a great female leading lady because she can fight. She is actually more qualified to become the next Ant-Man than than Scott Lang, but because there's daddy issues and stuff that you'll find out in the movie, hopefully, or I don't know. This came out in
no spoilers.
June, so
yeah.
This is kind of old news.
I feel like you talked about Ant-Man like one of the last podcasts last year.
All right. Anyway, fantastic. Moving on. Fan Four Stick. If you hadn't gotten the pun, Fantastic Four. Have you seen that?
Huh?
Have you seen Fantastic Four?
Nope. I didn't want to. I saw so many horrible reviews on it. Yeah. Like, it was just bad.
Funny side note on that. I was at Best Buy the other day, and I saw this, must have been out for a while. This, it was X-Men Days of Future Past. It was called The Rogue Cut. Because what they did was actually filmed a couple scenes in the future part with Rogue. But they ended up cutting it because of the time and the length and stuff. Yeah. And I saw it, and I was like, ooh, this is really cool. And then I looked down, and it says, if you buy this, they will give you up to $8 for your ticket to see Fantastic Four. I was like, they can't give these tickets away. It's so bad. But anyway, so Fantastic Four is basically just a reboot of the older Fantastic Four that actually was still bad.
But it was better than this one. Yeah.
I don't know how.
Because I guess it stuck closer to the comics than this did.
Well, it did.
In a way.
But I think the tone was different. In the older ones, it was like this campy, fun, family...
They're literally like a family.
Yeah, they're like a family, and they make jokes, and they have fun, and they goof around, and...
While still saving the city
from things they cause, but whatever. In this one, it's like way darker and way more just like Dark Knight-ish, where it's like the stuff, they get their powers, which is based off of the Ultimate comics, not in the classic comics. So, I mean, it's still comic accurate, so I don't have a problem with that. Which is they go to this dimension, fall into like this green stuff, and then they come out, and then they become superpowered when they come back. I don't know the science behind that, if that's even plausible. But they do that, and then the government actually wants to hire them to be weapons, because that's what the government does in superhero movies. They always want to weaponize stuff. So they try to weaponize like the Thing and Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Girl, and they get recruited, and they're like, oh, we don't want to do this, we're good guys. And then Dr. Doom comes on the scene, and he's just...
Isn't he a Spider-Man villain?
Dr. Doom?
Yeah.
He's a Marvel villain. Like, he was originally a Fantastic Four villain. Like, that was his primary thing. But he did cross over with Spider-Man a lot. He crossed over with Captain America a couple times. There was actually a short-lived comic series where it was supervillain team-up. And it was Dr. Doom and the Red Skull teamed up to fight Captain America, the Human Torch,
Fishbowl Head, and Extreme Sunburn.
No, Fishbowl Head, that's Mysterio.
Oh. I always get those confused.
He's the Spider-Man villain. Dr. Doom is like the metal head with the green head.
I always think of, Oh, him.
And the electricity.
Right, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. Dr. Doom. I thought that the previous attempt at Dr. Doom was kind of an version of Dr. Doom. It wasn't the Latvian king and tyrannical guy. He was like Norman Osborn. He was just a businessman.
Yeah.
This one, he's just a scientist who falls into the green pit longer than anybody else. Comes back. He literally, you see him fall into the green mist at the beginning. The entire movie happens, no Doctor Doom. The last third starts, and he's back. And his powers are never really explained. Like, the rest of them, like, you get there's fantastic stretches, things, a rock, Human Torch, obvious, Invisible Girl, obvious. Alright, in the comics, he was never, like, a superhero. He always had tech. That's why he had the metal everywhere. In this one, like...
kind of like Green Goblin, sort of.
Yeah. In this one, he's like, made out of this green, glowy, silver metal that is just his body now. And it looks terrible. Like, the effects of him are terrible. And he would just, like, walk down a hallway with guards that are trying to shoot him, right? Mm-hmm. And they would do, like, the Matrix thing where the bullets would just, like, bounce off and stuff. And then he'd just keep walking like it's not phasing them. And then just, their heads would just... They just blow up. They just blow up as he walked down the hall. He wouldn't do anything. He just look at him and just...
Interesting.
Yeah. So
the angel in Raiders of the Lost Ark is really Doctor Doom.
Yes.
The Death Angel is actually
Angel
Doctor
of Death
Doom.
is Doctor Doom. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And on top of that, on top of this crappy effects, on top of the thing not having any pants, which that's just bad. And on top of like the lazy writing, they're all good actors. Okay, I won't slam the acting because they've done all good stuff on their own. It's just here they're trying their best, but the script is just so bad.
Right.
And it tries to be dark, but it really just comes off as boring because there are really no action scenes until the end. And the end is in like the wasteland, so there really aren't any stakes.
Yeah.
So it's just boring. Now, on to actual news. This was like a month ago, but it's still news. Civil War is coming out next year. Captain America 3, Civil War, which is mainly Avengers 2.5.
I think I've seen both Captain Americas, yeah.
Yeah, there was the first Avenger, Winter Soldier.
Right, yeah.
And now
this.
Civil War. Now, this is big because it is a huge comic book story on, like, heroes fighting each other because of different ideologies.
Man, we got Batman, Superman, and Civil War. That's weird.
Yeah. It's Batman versus Superman versus Aquaman and Wonder Woman versus Captain America versus Iron Man and all the Avengers. So, but what's news is that we have gotten an official look at who's on what sides for Civil War. Now, it's mainly just been speculation or based on the comics, but now we know. We know that it's Captain America versus Iron Man.
Right here.
Those are the sides. Oh, right there.
Those two, right?
Those are the teams.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. There's more. On Captain America's team, you have Black Panther, you have Hawkeye, you have Bucky, you have Falcon.
Okay.
On Iron Man's team, you have Iron Man, you have Black Widow, which is interesting because Black Widow and Hawkeye were an item and now they're split in whatever.
Interesting.
You have Vision, you have War Machine, and no news yet on Spider-Man. So Spider-Man may be flipping, flopping.
Sorry, Spider-Man. You may or may not be in the Avengers.
Didn't quite make
possibly,
the cut.
No.
He's in the movie, though. They did cast a guy. Can't remember his name for my life, but he is in it. And he will be a young Peter Parker. And he will probably be flip-flopping a lot. I think they're going to do a similar thing with Black Panther, because he also is, like, kind of caught in the middle. Mm-hmm. So that's cool. Now that we know everybody that is...
We sort of get an idea of what's going on.
Yeah, so that'll be
cool. Now, biggest news. Well, not news, but just a reminder. Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, is coming in 99 days, and we are so pumped. And you and Fiona are possibly coming with me to see it opening night, right? That was a thing,
awesome.
Possibly?
I wanted to see it opening night. I didn't make any plans yet.
And I think we're going to the... I'm sorry, personal background stuff. But if you live in Rochester, best place to see it is there is an IMAX scene in Star Wars that they film with an IMAX camera. So go to an IMAX theater, and the closest one is Tinseltown. So go to that. Just telling you. Okay.
Shameless
go ahead.
But yes, it's in 99 days, and they released these... Well, first, I'm going to tell you. They released a couple trailers that I think we discussed in our earlier podcasts. and they released the marketing, just launched for the action figures and the toys and stuff, just like launched like this past week. And so like a whole boatload of toys just dropped onto the market. And with these toys, there were a couple, I can't remember if they're action figures or plushies, but it's something that comes with voice recordings of all the characters. So like you'll like push a button and then you'll have the black stormtrooper guy. I can't remember his name. I can't remember any of the new characters' names.
I don't even know their new names.
I know the bad guy with the cool lightsaber. His name is Kylo Ren. And they
is that the bad guy?
Yeah, he's the bad guy.
Okay, because there were a couple Sith that they were speculating who he was. Okay.
Yeah, he's Kylo Ren. And they had some cool, ominous voice from him. John Boyega is the character that's playing the Stormtrooper turned Jedi.
Yeah.
And his character, they basically gave him all the reactions, like, let's get over here! We don't have enough time! Let's get to the chopper! Well, he doesn't say that, but he basically just has all those... Yeah, he has like all those really like intense reactions.
Yeah.
Like it's like, ah! So I think when they recorded them, he was just screaming into the mic the whole time. It was pretty funny. But anyway, so now we got this really quick, it's like 2-second long teaser trailer for The Force Awakens, and it's some of the footage that you've seen before with one shot that's new. It starts out black, like trailers do, and it says, "There has been an awakening."
Like it has.
And then you see with the awesome, I'm trying to get in the frame, with the awesome lightsaber with the cross
That
beam.
thingy.
That thing. They're really awesome. It goes, and then it cuts to what he's looking at, which is John Boyega's character with a blue, it looks like it might be Luke's old lightsaber. It hasn't been confirmed, but it looks just like it. And he goes, just all fierce and intense. So they're probably going to fight in the woods in that scene. And I saw that and I just got like chills. So I'm like, that's awesome.
See, that's similar reaction which I saw with the whole Battlefront 3, the original trailer for that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, even the original trailer for with the original trailer for Star Wars, this new movie, the original trailer, everybody went nuts over it. Because
everybody.
I mean, you could watch the whole trailer and like, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool. Han Solo, Chewbacca, oh my god!
Chewie, we're home.
Exactly, yeah. Everybody like lost their minds over that.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, so that's exciting. 99 days.
Really exciting.
Hopefully going to see it opening night. It's not on Christmas anymore, so there won't be any conflicts with church events and everything, so we can go to see it opening night.
It's the 18th.
Is that a Saturday?
December.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I think it's Saturday or so. It's either a Friday or Saturday.
It's the 18th. It's that weekend.
It's the 18th of December, which is fantastic, and I really want to see it. And I haven't seen an IMAX movie since, goodness, I think it was Bridge to Terabithia was an IMAX movie, and I went to see that. That was forever ago.
Yeah. I think my most recent one was, I mean, yours is way older than mine.
Yeah.
I think I saw The Amazing Spider-Man 2 in IMAX.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I've seen... I've only seen very select movies in IMAX.
Yeah,
I saw that one.
I haven't seen many IMAX
I saw Avatar, which was awesome
that was
in
horrible.
IMAX. Well, you didn't like Avatar?
I hated that movie.
Whatever.
Horrible plot, horrible characters, bad...
With the blue people?
Yeah.
It looked great in IMAX.
Yeah, no.
In the 3D.
Oh, that Avatar! I thought you meant Last Airbender.
No, Blue Navi.
Oh, okay, that one. Yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah,
okay.
I was gonna say. I was like,
this and this are completely
not
different.
the same.
No.
And then I saw The Lion King in IMAX.
They re-released that in IMAX?
No, when I was little. That was like the
That
first...
was in IMAX?
Yeah. When I was like little.
I don't get really... I mean, I guess the only way you could make an animated movie IMAX is with the sound. Because the whole IMAX is supposed to be a wider screen, bigger screen, higher detail, plus the bonus sound. So...
No, but there was definitely a bigger screen because I saw it, and I'll never forget that trip to the Tinseltown because, one, I got the crap scared out of me when they showed what was behind the screen. You know, yeah. So I was like, what is that? It was like,
the hundreds of speakers and everything behind the screen.
Whoa. and then... I'll never forget because right at the end of the I Just Can't Wait to Be King, when Zazu gets sat on by the giant rhinoceros, it's just a faraway shot. And I love Lion King. That's my favorite Disney movie. I've watched it a lot as a kid, and I still watch it less often, but I still watch it. And until that day, because I basically, when I watch movies, I like look for everything in the frame just to see it, all the detail. In the top right, if you're watching it, on your top right corner, in the IMAX, and it's also released in, up there, is released in widescreen, which also has it. But until then, I'd only seen the VHS tape. There is a giraffe eating a tree, like leaves off of a tree in the background. And I was like, that's new.
Because you can't see it, because it's a different...
Because it's a bigger screen, so they can fit more stuff in the screen. Because in the VHS, it's full screen.
Yeah.
So that got cut off. And I was like, hey, Dad, it's a giraffe. I didn't like giraffes that much, but I was so excited because it was something new. And then when we got the DVD a little while later, I paused it, and I was like, still got the giraffe. So, yeah.
Oh, the wonders of widescreen. So, yeah. Oh, boy. Well, that takes us right up to until the end there. So, a lot of news. Here, let's just hit the high points. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Top 5 points.
Top 5 points.
Steam sucks.
Yep.
Steam sucks.
Steam sucks.
Battlefront's great, and it's coming out, and people still find things to hate about it, but I don't see what's wrong with it.
Yep.
Steam sucks. And Star Wars the movie's coming out.
Yes.
In 99 days. That's pretty much it. So, if you didn't listen to the last half an hour or so of what we were saying, that's pretty much what we talked about.
Yeah.
I mean, some minor details. I mean,
we talk about
Fantastic Four and whatever. But whatever. I mean, you don't need to.
You don't need to know anything.
You don't need to know anything.
Fantastic. Just forget it, like the
just
cinematic. Okay.
Wow, I'm gonna call her out right now. We just got our station manager interrupting our podcast.
Yeah.
Hi.
How about that?
Anyways, to wrap it up, that's all we've got for the fun of English.
Yeah.
Say goodbye, Colby. That's the bell.
Goodbye.
See ya.